Namaskaram. You are listening to the Heart Space Health podcast, where we hold space for raw, real, and restorative conversations around healing, caregiving, and being human. And I am Sree Prathyusha Nanduru. Before we begin, I want to gently let you know that today's conversation is perhaps one of the most raw and personal stories I have shared so far. In our introduction episode, I spoke about creating a space that is honest, human, and deeply real. And today, I want to honor that promise. So, if you're listening, I invite you to simply sit with me for a few minutes as I share a chapter of my life that shaped me in ways I never imagined. A chapter that was painful, exhausting, and at times incredibly lonely, but also a chapter that taught me resilience, compassion, and the importance of not judging a life we have never lived. Today, I want to talk about the weight of other people's expectations. There was a season of my life that very few people truly saw. I had a newborn in my arms. My older son had autism, if I can label, and needed me in ways that required constant presence, learning, advocacy, and love. And at the same time, my own body was fighting a battle. I was living with a condition called hidradenitis suppurativa. What many people didn't see was the reality behind the closed doors. Painful boils, pus and blood draining from wounds, clothes sticking to my skin, and a constant fever that became part of daily life. I honestly don't remember what it felt like to feel physically well during that season. And the hardest part, I couldn't simply start that medication that could help me. I was breastfeeding my baby, my body needed treatment, my baby needed nourishment. And as mothers, we often know which side of that decision we choose, right? So I waited, I endured, I managed, I carried on. Not because it wasn't hard, but because that's what that season asked of me. There were days I was caring for my newborn with a fever in my own body, days I was attending to my elder one's needs while silently managing pain that nobody else could see. Days when getting dressed hurt, walking hurt, sitting hurt, existing hurt, and yet life didn't pause. A, a baby, my baby still cried. My elder one still needs me. Therapy appointments still had to happen. Meals still had to be made. Responsibilities still arrived every morning. Life kept moving, and somehow, so did I. There were nights when sleep felt like a luxury. My baby needed me throughout the night. My older son needed me during the day. My body was exhausted. My mind was exhausted. My heart was exhausted. And there were nights I cried and cried. Not because I didn't love my children, not because I regretted my journey, but because I was tired in a way words cannot fully explain. I didn't have the kind of parental support many people are blessed with. There wasn't always someone I could call and say, "Can you take over for a while?" So I kept going. One day at a time, one appointment at a time, one sleepless night at a time. And as if carrying all of that wasn't enough, there was something else I quietly learned to carry. The assumptions, the judgment, the expectations that come from people who know a small part of your story and believe they know the whole story. People observing from a distance, people discussing lives they had never actually lived, people forming opinions without ever knowing what it took just to get through a single day. And I remember thinking so many times, if only they knew, if only they knew the appointments, the therapies, the sleepless nights, the tears, the fear, the constant fever, the physical pain, the emotional weight, the decisions that had to be made every single day. But they didn't, and perhaps they could not. Because unless you have walked the journey yourself, it is very easy to form opinions about it. It's very easy to judge choices you never had to make. It's very easy to discuss someone else's life when you're not the one carrying it. And over time, I realized something very important. People will always see a small chapter, but they rarely see the entire book. They see a moment, but they don't see the years behind it. They see a decision, but they don't see the circumstances that led to it. And that's when I slowly stopped feeling the need to explain myself. Because some journeys come only, some journeys can only truly be understood by the people who walk them. Looking back now, I realized something. People often see the woman I became, the founder, the author, the advocate, the professional. What they don't always see is the woman who was built during those years. The woman carrying a baby in her arms, another child in her heart, and pain in every part of her body. The woman learning resilience in hospital corridors, the woman learning patience in therapy rooms, the woman learning how to keep going even when nobody could see the battle she was fighting. And maybe that's what I wanted to leave you with today. Before judging someone's choices, before forming an opinion about someone's life, before deciding what they should or should not have done, pause. Because we never really know what someone is carrying. We see their smile, we see their work, we see their success, but we rarely see their pain. We rarely see the nights they cried, the fears they carried, the battles they fought in silence. If you have ever felt misunderstood, if you have ever felt judged by people who only knew a fraction of your story, I hope this reminds you that you're not alone here. Namaskaram.